Commander Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of the massive ship called New Dawn. The stars looked like tiny diamonds against the black space around them. He had been in charge of this mission for 3 years now. Behind him, 50,000 people slept in special pods that kept them safe during the long journey to their new home. "Commander, we should reach the Kepler system in 4 months," said Ji Young, his chief engineer. She was looking at the bright screens that showed their ship's path through space. Her hands moved quickly over the controls as she checked their engines and power systems. Hyunwoo nodded. This was humanity's biggest dream coming true. Earth was getting too crowded, and they needed new places to live. The New Dawn carried families, scientists, and workers who would build a new world far from Earth. It was the first ship of its kind, built to carry so many people so far from home. "Any problems with the engines?" Hyunwoo asked. "No, sir. Everything looks good. But I'm seeing some strange readings from our long-range sensors," Ji Young said. Her face showed worry as she looked at the numbers on her screen. Down in the science lab, Dr. Sang-min was studying rocks and dirt samples from Earth. He was a scientist who studied alien life, even though humans had never found any real aliens before. He believed that somewhere in the huge universe other living things must exist. His computer made a soft beeping sound. A message was coming in from Earth. Dr. Sang-min opened the message and started reading. His face went pale as he read the words. The message was from his friend Dr. Park, who worked with big radio telescopes on Earth. Dr. Park wrote about strange signals coming from empty space. These signals were not natural. They were too organized, too perfect. Someone or something was making them. "These signals are not random," Dr. Park's message said. "They repeat in patterns. We think they might be some kind of code or language, but here's the scary part. They're getting stronger. Whatever is making these signals is getting closer to Earth." Dr. Sang-min felt his heart beat faster. He had spent his whole life hoping to find alien life. Now it seemed like alien life had found them first. Back on Earth, Captain Tae-jin was working late at the Earth Defense Center. He was tired, but something was bothering him. The computer systems that watched space around Earth were showing weird things. Objects were moving at the edge of their solar system, but they disappeared when the computers tried to get a better look. "Young-hee, come look at this," Tae-jin called to his tactical officer. She walked over to his desk and looked at the screen. "What am I looking at, Captain?" Young-hee asked. "See these dots here? They show up for a few seconds, then disappear. But look at how they move. That's not how rocks or ice move in space. These things are moving like they have engines." Young-hee studied the screen carefully. She was very good at understanding space movements and ship patterns. After a few minutes, she looked up at Tae-jin with worried eyes. "Captain, these aren't natural objects, and they're huge. Much bigger than any ship we've ever built. If I didn't know better, I'd say we're looking at a whole fleet of alien ships." Meanwhile, on the New Dawn, Ji Young was having trouble sleeping. She kept thinking about those strange energy readings. She went back to the bridge in the middle of the night to check the sensors again. The readings were stronger now. Whatever was making those energy signals was definitely out there, and it was big, very big. She woke up Commander Hyunwoo and showed him what she had found. "Sir, I think we need to be careful. These energy patterns look like the kind of power that could come from really advanced ships much more advanced than anything humans have built." Hyunwoo looked at the data. He had been a space pilot for 20 years and he had never seen anything like this. "Are you saying there might be aliens out here?" "I don't know what else it could be, sir, and if there are aliens, they have technology that makes our ships look like toys." On Earth, Dr. Sang-min was working with his team to decode more of the strange signals. They had been studying them for weeks now. Slowly, they were starting to understand small parts of the alien language. What they learned made them very afraid. The signals talked about harvesting and collection. They mentioned Earth by its location in space. The aliens called humans a young species that was ready for processing. Dr. Sang-min realized that these aliens saw humans like farmers see wheat in a field, something to be cut down and taken away. He tried to contact the government, but nobody believed him. "Aliens don't exist," they said. "You're seeing patterns that aren't really there." But Dr. Sang-min knew he was right. The aliens were real and they were coming for Earth. Captain Tae-jin was having the same problem. His reports about strange objects in space were ignored. Space is full of rocks and ice, his boss said. Stop wasting time looking for little green men. But the objects were getting bigger on his sensors, and there were more of them every day. On the new dawn, Commander Hyun-woo called a meeting with his top officers. They sat around a table in the ship's meeting room while the stars moved slowly past the windows. I want to know what you all think about these energy readings, Hyun-woo said. Dr. Min-ho, the ship's science officer, spoke first. The energy patterns are definitely not natural. They're too organized, too controlled. Something intelligent is making them. Could it be another human ship? Asked Major Dong-hyun, who was in charge of the ship's small military force. No, said Ji-young. These readings are much too powerful. It would take hundreds of our biggest ships to make this much energy. So we're saying there are aliens out here, said Lieutenant Sora, who handled communications. And they have much better technology than us. Everyone was quiet for a moment. The idea of meeting aliens had always been exciting in books and movies. But now that it might be real, it felt scary. What do we do if we meet them? Asked Major Dong-hyun. We try to be friendly, said Commander Hyun-woo. Maybe they'll want to be friends with humans. But deep down he was worried. If these aliens had such powerful technology, why were they hiding? Why hadn't they said hello to humans already? Maybe they didn't want to be friends. Back on Earth, the strange objects at the edge of the solar system stopped hiding. Captain Tae-jin watched his screens as dozens of huge shapes appeared. They were ships, but they were bigger than cities. They moved in perfect formations, like a military fleet. Get me the president, Tae-jin said to Young-hee. Get me everyone. We need to tell the world that we are not alone. But it was too late for warnings. The alien ships were already moving toward Earth, and they were moving fast. Dr. Sang-min's computer was receiving more signals now. The alien language was becoming clearer. He could understand more and more of their words. What he learned made his blood turn cold. The aliens called themselves the Reapers. They had been watching Earth for a long time, waiting for humans to grow smart enough to be worth taking. Now that time had come. The Reapers were coming to harvest humanity, just like farmers harvest crops. And there was nothing anyone could do to stop them. In space, the new dawn continued on its path to the distant star system. The 50,000 sleeping colonists had no idea that their home world was about to face the greatest danger in human history. Commander Hyun-woo looked out at the stars and wondered if he would ever see Earth again. Something told him that when he received the next message from home, it would bring very bad news. The invasion was about to begin. The first attack came at dawn. Captain Tae-jin was drinking coffee in the Earth Defense Center when every alarm in the building started screaming. The huge alien ships had moved closer during the night, and now they were right above Earth. Captain, they're jamming all our communications, Young-hee said, her hands flying over her control panel. I can't reach any of our defense satellites. Through the windows, they could see strange lights in the sky. The alien ships looked like dark metal mountains floating in the air. They were so big they blocked out the sun in some places. Then the real attack began. Beams of blue light shot down from the ships. Wherever the light touched, everything stopped working. Cars died in the streets. Computers went dark. Even simple things like radios and flashlights stopped functioning. They're not trying to kill us, Tae-jin realized. They're making us helpless. In the first few hours, the aliens destroyed every military base on Earth. Their weapons were so powerful that Earth's armies couldn't fight back. Jets fell out of the sky when their engines stopped working. Ships in the ocean drifted helplessly as their power died. But the killing came later. Large ships landed in every major city. Strange creatures came out of these ships. They looked like giant insects with metal parts attached to their bodies. The aliens moved through the cities, taking people, not killing them, but capturing them like animals. Dr. Sang-min was hiding in his laboratory when he saw the creatures for the first time. They walked on 4 legs and had long arms that ended in metal claws. Their eyes glowed red in the dark. They moved from house to house, taking everyone they found. The scientist watched in horror as his neighbors were loaded into floating metal boxes. The people weren't hurt, just unconscious. The aliens wanted them alive. 3 days later, the Earth was quiet. Most of the big cities were empty. The aliens had taken millions of people, but not everyone. Many humans had escaped to the mountains, forests, and underground hiding places. Captain Tae Jin was one of the survivors. He and Young Hee had escaped from the defense center when the aliens attacked. Now they were hiding in a cave with a few other soldiers. "How many people do you think they took?" Young Hee asked. "Too many," Tae Jin said. "But not all of us. There are still humans fighting back all over the world." High above Earth, on the biggest alien ship, Fleet Commander Vextar was looking at reports from his soldiers. He was not human-shaped at all. His body was long and thin, covered in gray skin that looked like metal. He had too many arms and eyes that could see in all directions. "How many humans have we collected?" he asked his second-in-command. "About 3 billion, Commander. The collection is going well." Vextar was confused. His sensors had told him there should be 8 billion humans on this planet. "Where were the other 5 billion? Did we kill the missing humans during the first attack?" he asked. "No, sir. Our weapons only disabled their technology. We found empty cities, but no bodies. It's like billions of humans just disappeared." Vextar had harvested hundreds of worlds in his long life. This had never happened before. Usually all the population was easy to find. They lived in cities and used technology that made them simple to track. "Keep looking," he ordered. "Find the missing humans. We need them all for the harvest to be complete." But the missing humans were not hiding on Earth. They were scattered, across space in places the aliens had never thought to look. Far from Earth, Commander Hyunwoo was reading the last message his ship had received from home. His hands shook as he read about the attack. Earth was gone. His home, his friends, everyone he had left behind was either dead or captured. The 50,000 colonists on the New Dawn were humanity's biggest group of survivors, but they were alone in space, far from home, with no way to help. "Sir, we need to decide what to do next," said Dr. Min-ho. The science officer looked tired and sad. He had family on Earth, too. Ji-young was checking their fuel and supplies. "We have enough resources to reach the colony planet and start our settlement there," she reported. "That was always the plan." "But is that what we should do?" asked Major Dong-hyun. "Should we run away and hide while our people suffer?" Commander Hyun-woo stood quietly for a long moment. Outside the windows, the stars looked cold and empty. Somewhere behind them, Earth was in alien hands. "No," he said finally. "We don't run. We don't hide. We fight." "Sir, with respect, we're just one ship," said Lieutenant Sora. "What can we do against a whole alien fleet?" "I don't know yet," Hyunwoo admitted, "but I know we can't just sail away and pretend this didn't happen. These aliens think they can take our world and our people. They're wrong." He turned to Ji-young. "Can we change our course?" "Yes, but not back to Earth. We don't have enough fuel for that." "I'm not talking about going back to Earth," Hyunwoo said. His voice was getting stronger, more determined. "I'm talking about hunting these aliens down." Meanwhile, in the outer parts of Earth's solar system, other humans were also planning to fight back. Mining Station Omega-7 was a small facility near Jupiter, where 50 workers had been digging ice and minerals. The station's supervisor, Kiho, had watched the attack on Earth through his long-range telescopes. "They think they got everyone," Kiho said to his workers, "but they forgot about us." The mining station was too small for the aliens to notice. It looked like just another rock floating in space. But Kiho had an idea that might hurt the aliens badly. "We can't save Earth," he told his people. "But we can make these aliens pay for what they did." His plan was simple but dangerous. The station had powerful fusion reactors that provided energy for the mining equipment. If they overloaded the reactors at just the right moment, the explosion would be huge. When one of their ships comes close, "Enough, we blow ourselves up and take them with us," Kiho explained. It was a suicide mission, but every worker on the station volunteered. They had all lost family and friends on Earth. If they were going to die, they wanted their deaths to mean something. Other small groups of humans were scattered throughout the solar system. Research stations, military outposts, and mining facilities that the aliens had missed. Most had fewer than 100 people, but they were all angry and ready to fight. Major Dong-hyun was not just an officer on the New Dawn. He also knew about these hidden facilities. Before leaving Earth, he had helped set up secret communication codes that would let isolated human groups work together. "Commander, I need to try something," he said to Hyunwoo. He went to the communications room and started sending special radio messages into space. The messages were coded to look like natural space noise, but hidden humans throughout the solar system would recognize the patterns. The messages said, "Earth has fallen, but we survive. Prepare to fight back." Within hours, answers started coming in. From mining stations around Jupiter, from research bases near Saturn, from military posts in the asteroid belt. Dozens of small human groups were still out there, and they were all ready for war. Back on Earth, Fleet Commander Vextar was getting more confused reports from his soldiers. "Sir, we found another empty facility. This one was some kind of space launch center, but all the ships are gone." "How many ships?" Vextar demanded. According to their records, hundreds of small ships launched in the past few years. Supply ships, research vessels, military scouts. They're scattered all over the solar system. For the first time in his long life, Vextar felt worried. His species had perfected the art of harvesting other races. They studied a world for years before attacking. They learned about the population, the technology, the military forces, but somehow they had missed something important about humans. These creatures had spread out beyond their home world much more than the Reapers realized. "Find them," he ordered his fleet. "Find every human ship and station. This harvest must be complete." But space is huge, and humans had learned to be very good at hiding. The first alien patrol ship that went looking for hidden humans found mining station Omega-7. The ship was 10 times bigger than the human station and armed with powerful weapons. Kehoe watched the alien ship approach on his screens. "This is it," he said to his workers. "Are you all ready?" "Ready," they replied. Kehoe waited until the alien ship was very close. Then he started overloading the fusion reactors. The station's power systems began to shake and spark. "For Earth," Kehoe shouted and pressed the final button. The explosion was visible from Mars. The mining station and the alien ship disappeared in a ball of nuclear fire. It was the first human victory of the war, bought with the lives of 50 brave people. When news of the explosion reached other hidden human groups, they cheered. The aliens could be hurt. They could be killed. The real fight was just beginning. Admiral Wu Jin had been hiding in the asteroid belt for 2 years before the aliens came to Earth. His ship, the Silent Thunder, was built for deep space reconnaissance missions. It was small, fast, and most importantly, almost invisible to enemy sensors. When he received the coded messages about Earth's fall, Wu Jin knew his time in hiding was over. He gathered his crew of 200 on the ship's main deck. "Our home is gone," he told them. "Our families are captured or dead. We are probably the most advanced military unit left in human space. What do we do now?" A young officer named Yuna raised her hand. "We make the aliens pay, sir. We make them regret coming to our solar system." The other crew members nodded in agreement. They were all volunteers who had signed up for dangerous missions in deep space. They knew how to survive in the dark and how to strike without warning. "Good," Admiral Wu Jin said. "Because I have a plan. These aliens think they've won because they control Earth, but they don't understand humans. We've been planning for the worst for hundreds of years. What the aliens didn't know was that humans had built secret systems throughout their space. These systems were designed to work even if Earth was destroyed. Hidden computers, automatic. Weapons and supply depots were scattered from Mercury to Pluto. The systems were called ghost protocols, because they were meant to operate like ghosts after everyone was dead. Dr. Yoonji was working at a research station near Jupiter when the invasion began. She was a quantum physicist, which meant she studied the smallest parts of reality and how they worked. Her research station was disguised to look like a broken satellite, so the aliens ignored it. But Dr. Yunji had been working on something that could change everything. She had discovered how to use quantum entanglement as a weapon. Quantum entanglement was when two particles stayed connected no matter how far apart they were. If you changed one particle, the other changed instantly. Her colleague, Dr. Jae Sung, helped her understand how this could hurt the aliens. If we can entangle particles in their ship systems with particles we control, we can destroy their ships from far away, he explained. It sounded like science fiction, but Dr. Yunji had made it work in small tests. Now they needed to make it work on alien ships. The first alien ship to encounter human quantum weapons was a harvester near Mars. The ship was collecting ice from the planet's polar caps when something impossible happened. Parts of the ship's hull simply disappeared. Not destroyed or melted, but erased as if they had never existed. The alien crew sent panic signals to their fleet commander. Ship systems failing, hull breach in impossible locations, requesting immediate assistance. But by the time help arrived, the harvester ship was drifting in space, its crew dead from hull breaches that appeared in random places throughout the ship. Fleet Commander Vextar studied the reports with growing concern. "What kind of weapon does this?" he asked his science officers. "We don't know, Commander. The damage patterns make no sense. It's like parts of the ship were deleted from reality." This was exactly what Dr. Yunji's quantum weapons did. By destroying particles that were quantum entangled with particles in the alien ship, she could make parts of the ship cease to exist. It was a weapon that worked by changing the basic rules of physics. Meanwhile, Admiral Wu Jin was preparing his ghost fleet for a major attack. Hidden throughout the solar system were 37 ships that everyone thought had been lost in accidents or deep space missions. But they had all been secretly modified for stealth warfare. Commander Yuna was in charge of coordinating these ghost ships. She sent coded signals to each ship telling them where to attack and when. "Remember," she transmitted to the fleet, "we hit fast and disappear. The aliens have better technology, but they can't fight enemies they can't find." The first coordinated attack happened near Venus. 5 ghost ships appeared suddenly around an alien harvester, fired every weapon they had, then vanished back into space before the aliens could respond. The harvester was destroyed in seconds. Similar attacks happened throughout the solar system. Alien ships would be traveling through space when ghost ships would appear, attack, and vanish. The aliens started calling these mysterious attackers void phantoms because they seemed to appear from nowhere and disappear just as quickly. On Earth, the surviving humans were also causing problems for the aliens. Captain Tae Jin had organized resistance groups that attacked alien facilities on the ground. They couldn't win big battles, but they could make the aliens' occupation much more difficult. "Hit their supply lines," Tae Jin told his fighters. "Attack their communication posts. Make them afraid to send out small groups." Young Hee had become an expert at making bombs from scrap materials. Her devices were crude but effective. They destroyed alien vehicles and equipment, forcing the aliens to spend more resources protecting their operations on Earth. But the real surprise for the aliens came when they tried to leave Earth's solar system with their captured humans. Transport ships loaded with human prisoners were heading toward the edge of the solar system when they started having accidents. Power systems failed for no reason. Navigation computers gave wrong directions. Life support systems in the prison sections stopped working. The aliens didn't realize that humans had hidden sabotage programs in their own technology. When the aliens stole human computers and equipment, they also stole the hidden programs that were designed to activate during exactly this kind of emergency. Dr. Minho, still aboard the New Dawn far from Earth, was coordinating these sabotage programs using quantum communication systems. He could send signals to the hidden programs instantly, no matter how far away they were. "Every human facility they capture comes with a present inside," he explained to Commander Hyunwoo. "When I activate the programs, their stolen equipment becomes their enemy." The aliens were starting to realize they had made a serious mistake. What had looked like an easy harvest was turning into the most difficult campaign in their history. Fleet. Commander Vextar called his senior officers to an emergency meeting. "This species is unlike any we have encountered before," he told them. They spread throughout their solar system like a virus, and now that virus is fighting back. Should we request additional fleet support? Asked one of his commanders. No, Vexter said. We have the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. We will not be defeated by primitives who barely understand space travel. But privately, he was worried. His fleet was losing ships every day to weapons and tactics they couldn't understand or predict. The humans were fighting a type of war that the aliens had never experienced. Dr. Yunji was expanding her quantum weapon systems. Working with Dr. Jae-sung, she had found a way to make alien ships forget they existed. Ships affected by her new weapons would suffer complete system failure as their computers tried to process the impossible reality that parts of the ship were no longer there. It's not just destroying them, she explained to the other scientists at her station. It's making them confused about their own existence. Their artificial intelligence systems can't handle the paradox. Commander Hyun-woo was also preparing his own surprise for the aliens. The New Dawn was much more than a colony ship now. Ji-young and her engineering teams had been modifying it for months, turning it into something the universe had never seen before. Are you sure about this plan, sir? Ji-young asked. Once we start, there's no going back. I'm sure, Hyun-woo replied. The aliens want to harvest humans like we're crops in a field. Let's show them what happens when the crops fight. Back. The New Dawn was being converted into the most powerful kinetic weapon ever built. With 50,000 sleeping colonists still in cryogenic storage, the ship had the mass of a small moon. If they could accelerate it to a high enough speed, it would become an unstoppable projectile. We're turning our people into a weapon, Major Dong-hyun said quietly. No, Commander Hyun-woo corrected. We're turning our ship into a weapon. Our people will be the ones who deliver it to the enemy. All across human space, the resistance was growing stronger. Every day, more alien ships disappeared or suffered mysterious failures. The aliens controlled Earth, but they were losing control of everything else. What the aliens didn't understand was that they had invaded a species that had spent centuries preparing for disaster. Humans had built their technology and their society to survive the complete destruction of their home world. The Reapers had brought a conventional invasion force to fight an enemy that was designed to be unconventional. They had expected to face armies and fleets in direct battle. Instead, they found ghosts in their machines, quantum weapons that deleted their ships from reality, and hidden enemies who struck from shadows and vanished like smoke. The harvest that should have taken weeks was now in its third month, and the aliens were no closer to victory than when they had started. The worst was yet to come. Fleet Commander Vexitar stared at the battle reports flooding his command center. In one day, his fleet had lost 60 ships to attacks that seemed to come from nowhere. His harvesting operation, which should have been finished months ago, was falling apart. How is this possible, he demanded from his science advisors. These humans are barely more advanced than animals. How are they destroying our ships faster than we can count them? His chief scientist, Mordak, studied the data with growing confusion. Commander, their weapons don't follow any logic we understand. Some of our ships are being destroyed by explosions. Others simply disappear. Some suffer complete system failure for no detectable reason. And what about their tactics? They don't fight like any species we've harvested before. They don't try to protect territory or defend their population centers. Instead, they attack us everywhere at once, then vanish before we can respond. Admiral Wu Jin was leading the largest coordinated attack in human history. His ghost fleet had grown from 37 ships to over 200 as more hidden vessels emerged from deep space storage facilities. Commander Yuna was coordinating the attack from the Silent Thunder's bridge. All units, this is Ghost Leader. Begin Operation Retribution. Throughout the solar system, human ships appeared from behind asteroids, planetary rings, and the shadows of moons. They struck alien vessels with everything they had, then disappeared, back into the void. But this attack was different from the previous hit-and-run raids. The humans were no longer just trying to damage the alien fleet. They were trying to drive it toward a specific location. Dr. Eunji had spent weeks preparing her ultimate quantum weapon, The Jupiter Research Station now housed a device that could affect space and time itself. It was connected to quantum particles scattered throughout the inner solar system. Jae-sung, are the quantum anchors in position? She asked her colleague. Doctor. Jae-sung checked his instruments. All anchors are active and synchronized. When the aliens reach the target zone, we can create a space-time distortion that will amplify any explosion by a factor of 10,000. It was the most dangerous experiment in human history. If it worked, they could destroy the entire alien fleet in one massive strike. If it failed, the distortion might tear apart the entire solar system. Meanwhile, Captain Tae-jin was leading a desperate mission on the ground. His resistance fighters had discovered the location of the main alien command center on Earth. It was heavily guarded and protected by energy shields, but Tae-jin had a plan. We can't destroy it from the outside, he told Young-hee and his other fighters. But we can get inside and plant bombs in their power core. It was a suicide mission, but Tae-jin's team volunteered without hesitation. They had all lost everything to the aliens. If they were going to die, they wanted their deaths to cripple the enemy's ability to control Earth. Using sewer tunnels and underground passages, Tae-jin's team infiltrated the alien base. They planted Young-hee's most powerful bombs throughout the facility's power systems. When these go off, their shields will fail and their communications will be cut off, Young-hee explained. The aliens on Earth won't be able to coordinate with their fleet. Far from Earth, Commander Hyun-woo was making final preparations for the New Dawn's attack run. The massive colony ship had been converted into a kinetic projectile of unimaginable power. Are the navigation systems locked on target? He asked Ji-young. Yes, sir. We are aimed directly at the center of the alien fleet's projected position. At our current acceleration, we'll reach 97% of light speed before impact. The physics were simple but terrifying. The New Dawn had the mass of a small moon. At nearly the speed of light, it would hit the alien fleet with the force of a star exploding. And our people? Hyun-woo asked quietly. The cryogenic systems are stable. The 50,000 colonists will remain safely frozen during the entire journey. When we hit the alien fleet, they won't feel anything. It was a terrible choice. Hyun-woo was turning his own people into ammunition, but it was the only way to ensure that the alien fleet would be completely destroyed. Major Dong-hyun approached his commander. Sir, we could still change course, find another way to fight them. No, Hyun-woo said firmly. The aliens came to harvest humanity. They see us as nothing more than crops to be gathered. It's time to show them that crops can burn the whole field down. Dr. Minho was monitoring communications from throughout the solar system. Sir, all human forces are reporting ready. Admiral Woo Jin's fleet is in position. Dr. Yoon-ji's quantum weapon is charged. Captain Tae-jin's team has planted their bombs on Earth. And the alien fleet? They're moving exactly where we want them to go. The Ghost Fleet attacks are driving them into the target zone. Back in the alien command center on Earth, Captain, Tae-jin watched as his team prepared for their final mission. They had planted bombs throughout the facility, but someone needed to stay behind to detonate them at the right moment. I'll do it, Tae-jin said. Captain, let me stay instead. Young-hee volunteered. You're needed to lead the resistance after this. No, Tae-jin replied. I've been fighting these monsters since they arrived. This is my job to finish. Young-hee nodded with tears in her eyes. She and the other fighters escaped through the tunnels while Tae-jin remained behind, watching the alien activity on his scanner high above Earth. Fleet Commander Vexitar was receiving disturbing reports from his ground forces. What do you mean you've lost contact with the command center? All communications are down, Commander. The base appears to be under attack by human resistance fighters. Vexitar felt a chill run through his body. The humans were coordinating. Attacks on multiple fronts. They were fighting in space and on the ground simultaneously, stretching his forces thin. Pull back all non-essential ships to defend the fleet, he ordered. We'll finish the harvest later. Right now, we need to eliminate these space-based attackers. It was exactly what the humans wanted. By concentrating his fleet in one location, Vexitar was making himself vulnerable to their ultimate weapon. Dr. Yoon-ji watched her screens as the alien ships moved into the target zone. They're in position, Jae-sung. All quantum anchors are active. Confirmed. The space-time distortion field is ready to activate on your command. Captain Taejin saw the alien command ships moving overhead through the facility's windows. This was the moment. He activated Young-hee's bombs. The explosion destroyed the alien command center and sent a massive electromagnetic pulse throughout the area. Every alien device on Earth lost power simultaneously. For humanity! Taejin shouted as the building collapsed around him. In space, Admiral Wu Jin received the signal that the ground operation was complete. All ships, this is Ghost Leader. The aliens are blind and cut off from their ground forces. Begin final attack pattern. The Ghost Fleet emerged from hiding and attacked the concentrated alien fleet with everything they had. But they weren't trying to destroy the aliens. They were trying to keep them in the target zone until the new dawn arrived. Commander Hyun-woo watched as his ship approached light speed. The stars outside the windows were shifting color as relativity began to affect their journey. Dr. Eunji, are you ready? He asked through quantum communication. Ready, Commander. When your ship enters the target zone, I'll activate the space-time distortion. The impact will be amplified beyond anything physics normally allows. And after that? After that, the alien fleet will be nothing but cosmic dust. But Commander, the explosion will be visible from other star systems. Every alien civilization within 100 light-years will know that humanity has joined the galactic community. Good, Hyun-woo replied. Let them see what happens when someone tries to harvest us. Fleet Commander Vextar finally realized what was happening when his sensors detected the new dawn approaching at near light speed. Evasive maneuvers, he screamed to his fleet. That ship is going to ram us. But it was too late. The alien ships were too close together and moving too slowly to escape. The new dawn was coming like a bullet fired from the heavens. Dr. Yoon-ji activated her quantum weapon at the moment of impact. The space-time distortion turned a massive explosion into something that defied the laws of physics. The destruction of the alien fleet lit up the solar system like a second sun. The explosion was so powerful that it created gravitational waves that rippled through space itself. When the light faded, the alien fleet was gone. The survivors on Earth looked up at the sky and saw their champions had arrived from the heavens to deliver them from their enemies. The harvest was over. Humanity had won, but the victory came at a terrible price. 50,000 sleeping colonists had died in the impact. Admiral Wu Jin had lost most of his ghost fleet. Captain Taejin and his team had given their lives on Earth. Yet their sacrifice had sent a message throughout the galaxy. Humanity was not prey to be harvested. They were predators to be feared. The age of easy conquest was over. The explosion was visible from Mars. When the new dawn hit the alien fleet at near light speed, the blast created a new star that burned for 3 days. Every human survivor in the solar system watched as their enemies were destroyed in a ball of fire that rivaled the sun. Dr. Yoon-ji barely survived the quantum distortion she had created. The space-time weapon had torn holes in reality itself, and the feedback nearly destroyed her research station. But when the energy finally faded, the alien threat was gone. Jae-sung, are you alive? She called out through the smoke and sparks filling her laboratory. Her colleague pulled himself out from under a collapsed instrument panel. I'm here. Did it work? Dr. Yoon-ji checked her sensors. Where the alien fleet had been, there was now only empty space and slowly expanding clouds of cosmic dust. It worked, she whispered. They're all gone. On Earth, Young-hee was leading the survivors of Captain Taejin's resistance group when they saw the explosion in space. The aliens on the ground had lost all communication with their fleet. Without orders or support, they began retreating to their remaining ships. Captain Taejin did it, Young-hee told her fighters. He cut off their communications just when the fleet was destroyed. The aliens on Earth are alone and confused. The remaining alien forces tried to evacuate the planet, but the human resistance was ready for them. Using weapons taken from defeated aliens, Young-hee's fighters attacked the evacuation ships as they tried to launch. Don't let any of them escape, Young-hee ordered. If even one alien ship gets away, they might warn their homeworld about our capabilities. It took 2 weeks, but eventually every alien on Earth was either dead or captured. The invasion was truly over. Admiral Wu Jin survived the final battle, but most of his ghost fleet was destroyed. The Silent Thunder drifted alone in space, its hull damaged by the massive explosion that had ended the war. "Commander Yuna, damage report," he requested weakly. The battle had left him injured, but alive. "Sir, we've lost main engines and most of our weapons systems. But we're alive, and the enemy is dead. I'd call that a victory." Through the damaged windows of his ship, Admiral Wu Jin could see the expanding cloud of debris that had once been the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. Humanity had won, but the cost had been enormous. "Begin searching for survivors from other human ships," he ordered. "We need to start rebuilding." In the weeks following the victory, humans throughout the solar system began the difficult work of rebuilding their civilization. Earth was badly damaged from the invasion, but it was still home. The surviving population worked together to repair cities and restore communication networks. Dr. Minho, one of the few survivors from the New Dawn's crew, established a new research facility on the moon. His job was to study the alien technology left behind and learn how to defend against future invasions. "We can't assume the aliens won't come back," he told the other scientists working with him. "This fleet might have been just an advance force. Their homeworld might send a larger fleet to investigate what happened here." The alien technology was far more advanced than anything humans had built, but it was also designed for a different type of warfare. The aliens had expected to fight conventional battles against organized armies. They had never prepared for the guerrilla war that humans had fought. Major Dong Hyun, another New Dawn survivor, was put in charge of developing new human military tactics based on what they had learned during the invasion. "We need to assume that future alien invaders will be prepared for our unconventional tactics," he explained to his staff. "We need to become even more unpredictable, even more dangerous." Dr. Yunji's quantum weapons became the foundation for a new type of human technology. Working from her damaged research station, she began developing defenses that could protect Earth from invasion fleets much larger than the one they had just defeated. "If we can create a quantum defense grid around the entire solar system," she explained to Dr. Jae-sung, "we can destroy enemy ships the moment they enter our space." But the most important change was in humanity's attitude towards space exploration. Before the invasion, humans had seen space as a place to explore slowly and carefully. Now they realized that the universe was full of dangerous aliens who saw other species as resources to be harvested. 6 months after the victory, Admiral Wu Jin was promoted to head the new Earth Defense Force. His first priority was building ships designed specifically for interstellar warfare. "We've been thinking too small," he told the Earth government. "We need fleets that can travel to other star systems. We need to find these aliens' homeworld and make sure they never threaten anyone again." The new ships were built using a combination of human engineering and captured alien technology. They were faster, better armed, and more heavily armored than anything humans had ever created. Young Hee became the leader of the planetary defense forces on Earth. Her experience fighting the aliens during the occupation made her an expert in ground combat against technologically superior enemies. "The aliens who invaded us were soldiers, not warriors," she explained to her new recruits. "They expected easy victory and didn't know how to adapt when we fought back. But future enemies might be smarter. We need to be ready for anything, Doctor." Minho made a disturbing discovery while studying the alien computers. The invasion fleet had detailed records of hundreds of other worlds they had harvested over thousands of years. "According to their data, they've destroyed entire civilizations," he reported to the Earth leadership. "Billions of intelligent beings wiped out because they couldn't defend themselves against alien technology." This news convinced humanity that they needed to do more than just defend Earth. They needed to become protectors of other species who might face similar invasions. "We can't save the civilizations that have already been destroyed," Admiral Wu Jin said during a meeting of Earth's leaders. "But we can make sure it doesn't happen to others." The first human interstellar warship, named the Tai Jin in honor of the fallen resistance leader, was launched 1 year after the invasion. Its mission was to travel to nearby star systems and warn other civilizations about the alien threat. Commander Sora, formerly a communications officer, was chosen to lead this first diplomatic mission. "Our job isn't to conquer or colonize. she told her crew. It's to make friends and allies who can help us fight against species like the Reapers. But humanity also began preparing for a more aggressive mission. If they could locate the alien homeworld, they wanted to destroy it before it could send more invasion fleets to harvest other worlds. Dr. Yunji's quantum weapons were scaled up to work on entire planets. If we can find where these Reapers come from, she told Dr. Jae-sung, we can delete their homeworld from existence. 2 years after the invasion, human scouts discovered the location of the Reaper homeworld. It was a massive artificial planet surrounded by hundreds of space stations and defended by fleets that made the invasion force look small. It's going to be a difficult target, Admiral Wu Jin admitted during the planning session. But we have advantages they don't expect. They still think of us as primitives who got lucky. The attack on the Reaper homeworld was planned as a surprise strike using quantum weapons and kinetic projectiles. But it was also designed to send a message to other alien species throughout the galaxy. Major Dong-hyun, now a general, explained the strategy. We're not just destroying the Reapers. We're announcing to the entire galaxy that humanity is now a power to be respected and feared. The attack fleet launched from Earth carrying the most advanced weapons humanity had ever created. The ships were crewed by veterans of the original invasion, people who had lost everything to the aliens and wanted revenge. Young Hee commanded the ground assault forces that would attack the Reaper homeworld's surface installations. Dr. Minho led the science teams that would study Reaper technology before destroying it. The battle for the Reaper homeworld lasted 6 months. The aliens had superior numbers and technology, but they were fighting an enemy that had learned to turn every disadvantage into an advantage. When the Reaper homeworld was finally destroyed, the explosion was visible from star systems hundreds of light years away. Every intelligent species in that region of the galaxy received the same message. Earth's champions had arrived from the heavens, and the age of easy conquest was over. Dr. Yunji's final log entry, recorded just before the destruction of the Reaper homeworld, became humanity's declaration to the galaxy. For millions of years, stronger species have preyed upon weaker ones. That ends now. Humanity has joined the galactic community, not as prey, but as protectors. Any species that tries to harvest others will face the wrath of Earth. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had arrived among the stars, and they had announced their presence with fire and fury that lit up the cosmos. The harvest was over. The hunt for other predator species had begun.